Coming up, the Reds find a new way to lose and the Yankees continue to win at a championship level pace. This is Locked On Now MLB.
The biggest games, the best performances, expert analysis. You are Locked On Now.
Welcome in. You're listening to Locked On Now MLB, local experts weighing in on the biggest stories on the diamond. I'm your host, Kainani Stevens. Thank you for making Locked On Now your first listen every single weekday. We've got our Locked On MLB hosts here to recap everything for you from Sunday in baseball. The Reds got some less than great history on their side now as we go into Sunday's games around the league.
Let's go around the league.
After more than 100 years of keeping records, it's pretty hard to find a feat in baseball as rare as what the Reds pulled off on Sunday. Cincinnati didn't allow a hit to the Pittsburgh Pirates, but still lost. Locked On Reds is speechless. The New York Yankees won their third game of the series in Chicago with a win over the White Sox on Sunday. New York continues a historic pace that is starting to give our Locked On Yankees host big expectations for this team.
This is Stacey Gotsoulias of Locked On Yankees, and the Yankees beat the White Sox 5-1. They won 3 out of 4. Pretty good. They're now 25-9 on the season. And in case you didn't know this, the last 3 teams to start off 25-9 in the past 17-ish seasons. The 2018 Red Sox won the World Series. The 2016 Cubs won the World Series. The 2005 White Sox won the World Series. No pressure, Yankees. Nestor Cortez Jr. being the ace of the staff as usual, throwing 8 innings of 1-run ball. The 1 run came on a home run, but, it took until the bottom of the 8th for that to happen. He was rolling, and no harm, no foul, because the Yankees ended up winning. We will have everything you need to know about this game and Friday and Saturday, because we get to recap a whole weekend. Fun! And we'll preview the series against Baltimore that starts tomorrow. Again, no rest for the weary. The Yankees aren't off till Memorial Day.
The White Sox couldn't slow down the Yankees and now sit back under 500 on the season after the weekend. Our Locked On White Sox host has more on what they need to do to stop the losses.
Not a good weekend for the Chicago White Sox at all. They lost Sunday to the New York Yankees 5-1. Michael Kopech for the White Sox didn't pitch too bad, gave you 6 strong innings. However, wheels kind of came off in the second inning. Issued far too many walks. The Yankees take their pitches. They're dangerous. And that was kind of the theme all weekend long. White Sox lost 3 of 4 to the Yankees as they issued 20 walks to Yankee batters all weekend long, while the White Sox only took 9 walks. There was a lot of other issues going on. The Sox one win was on Saturday as they got a great start from Dallas Keuchel. White Sox are now on the road as they have 5 games in 4 days against the Kansas City Royals. The Sox hoping to get back and above the 500 mark.
The Phillies had a great weekend, but they lost their series finale against the Dodgers in a way that still has Locked On Phillies questioning how this team is doing things as it gets into the middle months of the season.
All right. Was it a fun weekend? Yeah, it was. Did the Phillies win 3 of 4 from the Dodgers? Yeah, they did. And that's something to be proud of. Connor Thomas, your host of Locked On Phillies. They also had a chance to win this one today, and it sucks seeing them let a winnable game slip away. You need to make up games on the New York Mets and have a chance in the NL wildcard race. Like, these are the games you need to take care of business. And it was a great road trip for the Phillies. They won 2 series against, well, Mariners team was not that great, but a Dodgers team who was incredibly talented. They beat some really good pitchers in this series with LA. But the biggest thing, like, man, I get Corey Knebel was the one who blew this game in the 9th. He blew a save there with a 1-run lead, the Phillies holding 4-3. But how does Jeurys Familia keep getting innings for this team? One of 2 things needs to happen. Jeurys Familia needs to be off this team, or the manager who keeps playing him needs to be off this team. Figure it out, because he's clearly not an option when the game is in close situations. Giving up a run in his 8th inning and allowing the Dodgers to be in a situation where they could just score 2 to win it, 1 to tie it. It's just, all right, great road trip. We got the Padres coming up. Let's take the positives. Let's move on with it. Phils win the series. They lose today, but they win the series. Let's be happy.
Coming up, the Houston Astros shut out the Nationals. Shohei Ohtani also stays hot. This is Locked On Now MLB. That's all for today on Locked On Now MLB. Thank you for making Locked On Now your first listen every single weekday. Make sure you check out Locked On MLB and your team's Locked On podcast. I'm Kainani Stevens. This has been Locked On Now. Welcome back to Locked On Now MLB. I'm Kainani Stevens. Thank you for making Locked On Now your first listen every single weekday. Now we continue to look around the league. In baseball, the Astros impressed on the road Sunday for the day's best performance.
The best performance.
Hold up.
The Astros won the weekend rematch of the 2019 World Series by shutting out the Nationals Sunday to win 2 of 3. Locked On Astros is happy to have the team back to winning, and Houston continues to on its road trip.
Hey guys, it's Sean Willhouse here with Locked On Astros, and the Astros blank the Nationals as they head into Boston to try to get another win streak started. Justin Verlander threw 107 pitches with 5 strikeouts to get another win. It's 4-1 on the season. The Astros got home runs from Maldonado, McCormick, Yuli, and Jose Altuve. Although Pena was not back in the lineup, they're hopeful that he'll return soon. Meanwhile, in Sugarland, they are hitting the cover off the ball. Corey Lee and Pedro Leon are going off. Go check that out. Go check out some Space Cowboys. We'll talk about that. In our next episode, we have Bobby Dynamite, the train guy, the train conductor from Minute Maid Park, live on Locked On Astros. Remember, for myself and Eric the Man Heisman, we are your team every day. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and check us out on Apple, Google, or Spotify. Go Stros.
It's been a struggle so far this season for the Mariners, but Seattle beat the New York Mets twice over the weekend, and Locked On Mariners explains how this could be a turning point for the team.
The Mariners hold off the Mets and win by a score of 8-7 on Sunday to secure their first series victory since April 23rd. Yeah, it's been a really long time. This is Titan Gonzalez, host of the Locked On Mariners podcast, and this really feels like the turning point the Mariners need. They showed heartbeat this weekend. They go into the series having made 8 roster moves. They were a little bit shorthanded and had to face Max Scherzer to start this thing off. Yeah, Max Scherzer of all people, and they found a way to win that game. They showed fight in last night's game as well. They were down 4-1 and did something that they've rarely been able to do this year and clawed their way back. They knotted things up at 4-4, ended up losing 5-4. And then today they fought their way back again. They were up 4-1. Roles kind of reversed in this situation where the Mets ended up taking the lead 5-4. And then Julio Rodriguez wouldn't let this game slip through the Mariners' fingers. He knots things up at 5 apiece with a 114-mile-per-hour exit velocity bomb for his second career dinger. And then Cal Raleigh comes through with a 2-run go-ahead beef boy bomb to make things 7-5. Julio plays add-on with an RBI single his next time around in the order. And then things got a little bit interesting, though, in the bottom of the ninth. Drew Steckenrider could not shut the door on the Mets. The Mets make it 8-7. They get runners on second and third. Scott Service forced to yank Drew Steckenrider and go to the struggling Diego Castillo, who actually plays hero in this one and closes the door and keeps the tying run from crossing the plate as the Mariners again win 8-7 in this one and hopefully build some momentum heading into another difficult series against the Toronto Blue Jays in Toronto. I'm going to be at those games. We're going to be talking about this one, talking about those games on Locked On Mariners tomorrow. Be sure to join us. We'll see you then.
A pair of Rangers hit a pair of home runs to help Texas take the last game of their series with Boston. After a slow start, Locked On Rangers goes over the turnaround.
The Rangers get their most complete win of the season while it looked like they were about to get no-hit. It's Bryce Patrick and Lily here of the Locked On Rangers podcast. The Rangers beat the Red Sox 7-1, avoid the sweep in another fantastic game from Martin Perez. 7 strikeouts in 6 innings of 1-run ball. Multi-home run games for Cole Calhoun, who has been absolutely on fire after a dreadful start to the season. Yeah, Lily, it was absolutely dreadful start to the season. And a multi-home run game by Adolis Garcia. The Rangers were getting no hit by what was described to me as a very lousy Red Sox bullpen ended up being a not lousy Red Sox bullpen this series and pretty much limiting the Rangers. But huge hits from Cole Calhoun, huge hits from Adolis Garcia, absolute moonshots by him. Marcus Semien started off the 4-run inning with a double. He is looking like he is coming out of his slump. Rangers defense was great. A great late play by Eli White in left field. Matt Bush's fastball is back to 98-99 with some of the best spin rates in all of baseball. And Joe Barlow looks fantastic out of the pen as the Rangers closer. A great complete win to set up hopefully a very, very memorable day in Dallas sports. Isn't that right, Lily?
The Rockies mounted a huge comeback in the 7th inning on Sunday to take the lead over the Royals, but it was all for nothing as Colorado gave the game away in the 9th. Locked On Rockies breaks down everything you need to know after the game on Sunday.
It was bad. Then it was good. Then it got bad again. Daniel Bard can't get the job done as the Rockies storm back in the 7th. A Tacos inning isn't going to count for anything as Daniel Bard blows a save and the Rockies fall to the Royals in the top of the 9th, I should say, and they aren't able to bounce back in the bottom of the 9th. You can't lose a game until after the bottom of the 9th. I'm all flustered. That one was frustrating. That one was disappointing. The Rockies simply gave up too many runs this weekend. They scored a lot, they hit a lot, and they scored a ton of runs, but not enough to beat the Royals 2 out of 3. And the Rockies now are at 500 with the Mets and the Giants heading into town. Rockies have to play great baseball to stay above 500 or else things can get bad real quick. We'll talk about it right here on Locked On Rockies.
The Padres picked up an ugly win yesterday, but our Locked On Padres host will take it against the world champions in Atlanta.
Little bit of an ugly win, but nonetheless, a win is a win. What's up, guys? Javier Reyes here of the Locked On Padres podcast. The Padres won their Peacock Level 11 beginning of the morning game today, 7-3 over the Braves. Another quality start from Joe Musgrove. Shocker there that he was great yet again. Four-seam fastball looked good at points too as well, which was very nice. And Padres offense, they were able to hit in key spots. Big hit coming in extra innings from Ha-Seong Kim double. Then also, low-key, really weird and kind of like ugly series in a lot of ways. Some base-running blunders by Ha-Seong Kim earlier in the game. A bunch of errors from Matt Olson. Robinson Cano, he's lackadaisical in picking up the ball. Error from Will Myers. All sorts of weird stuff. Padres bullpen was also a story. Really disastrous on the Saturday game. But Nabil Crismatt was awesome. Low-key. Been very effective for the Padres. And honestly was low-key effective for them last year. Now, heading into an off day until they play Philly. Guys, of course, we're going to be talking about all that happened this weekend in this series and what to look to going forward. Locked On Pirates is back, everybody, this week. Keep it locked in.
Good pitching helped the Angels beat the A's 3 out of 4 times this weekend. Our Locked On Angels host has more after Shohei Ohtani hit another home run to lead the way in Sunday's win.
The Angels win the weekend against the Oakland A's. What's going on, everybody? It's John from Locked On Angels. The Angels have finally won a series in Oakland, taking 3 out of 4 from the A's. Something that's been really hard for them to come by the last few years, but they took advantage of a young, rebuilding A's team. Of course, you got to talk about Chase Silseth and his debut on Friday, going 6 innings strong. And, of course, you got to talk about Shohei Ohtani's 100th career home run. And then he got 101 on Sunday, which is cool to see. The Angels won 3 out of 4. They had a doubleheader on Saturday. They didn't win Game 1 because of a blown save from Rysel, but you know what? It's going to happen to the best, and Rysel is the best, so let's keep our faith in Rysel Iglesias in the 9th inning. That's okay. It's going to happen. But, of course, you got to talk about Jonathan Diaz pitching well, Michael Lorenzen pitching well. Patrick Sandoval on Sunday had a lot of traffic on the base paths, but he was able to get through the game with just one earned run. So the Angels have to win games like this against the A's, and it's great that they took 3 out of 4. They're headed to face the Rangers to start out this week, and my brother Mike and I will break it all down for you on Locked On Angels. So wherever you get your podcasts, or if you want to listen to us on YouTube, you can find us there. Again, we can't wait to see you there. We'll break it all down for you on Monday's show.
Today's edition of Locked On Now is brought to you by Bet Online, the #1 spot for all of your online sports gambling needs. Baseball is in the swing of things now, and the NHL playoffs and NBA playoffs continue. So head over there. Just go to betonline.net.